Welcome to Ketomealsandrecipes.com. Today I will be demonstrating how to make this easy flourless almond cake known as Tarta de Santiago in Spain. This recipe is also inspired from our European travels a few years ago. Specifically, while traveling in Spain, one of the places we stayed in was in Barcelona, where I got this beautiful cup. In Barcelona, we also had such amazing foods as tapas, really great fresh fish dishes, where sadly I could only enjoy their heavenly pastries by enjoying the aromas and taking a photo. So today I thought I would adapt a classic Spanish cake. By the way, the origin of this cake is attributed to about the medieval period and is dedicated to Saint James the Apostle, who is the patron saint of Spain. And that's what the design on the cake symbolizes. For my adapted version, the macronutrient ratio is 3.4 to 1 with 3.9 grams of total carbs, 2.1 grams of dietary fiber, resulting in 1.8 grams of net carbs per slice. The first step in making this cake is to weigh out and assemble all your ingredients, and also make sure that your eggs are at room temperature. Here's a little hack to get your eggs to room temperature quickly. Take your eggs, put them in a bowl of warm tap water and let them sit there for about 5 minutes. Then remove them and pat them dry before using. So to get started, the first thing I do is I line an 18 centimeter or 6 to 7 inch springform pan, both the bottom and the sides, with parchment paper, and preheating my oven to 170 degrees Celsius or 340 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, I separate the eggs, yolks in one bowl and whites into another bowl. To the bowl with the egg yolks, add the sweetener and then whip at high speed until the mixture is very pale and increases in volumes quite a bit. And when that has happened, add the lemon zest, lemon juice, vanilla, and also add your oil. The last ingredient for now is the cinnamon. And then whip again until everything is combined very well. Add your blanched almond flour. Using a spatula or your handheld mixer, combine all the ingredients until a smooth batter has been formed, and then set this bowl aside for a moment. Now we're ready to whip the egg whites. To the egg white bowl or your stand mixer bowl, add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice and whip at high speed until the egg whites are foamy and no albumin, meaning the egg white liquid, is visible at the bottom of the bowl. Then add 1 tablespoon of sweetener at a time, whipping to combine before adding the 2nd tablespoon. You want to whip this to a medium stiffness stage. Be careful not to make it too stiff because it'll make it very difficult to blend with the other ingredients. Now it's time to put things together. Add about 1/3 of the egg whites to the bowl with the egg yolks and almond flour mixture, and stir well to loosen this mixture. You may need a little bit more egg white. Then add the rest of the egg whites and fold very gently to combine. Try your very best not to deflate the whipped egg whites. When the ingredients from these two bowls are well combined, pour the cake batter into a prepared springform pan. It's always a good idea to break up any large bubbles in the cake, and you do this by either running a knife or thin skewer through the batter to remove any large air pockets. And then also gently drop the pan a few times to even out the batter, and then place the pan onto your oven rack that is just below the center position of your preheated oven and bake for about 30 to 35 minutes. When your cake is done, test with the toothpick. When you remove the toothpick, you want your toothpick to be slightly moist. That's perfect. Then put the cake back into the oven and, using something to prop the door open, let the cake cool in the warm oven for about 10 minutes. This will finish the baking process beautifully. After the oven cooling time, remove from the oven and let the cake cool in the springform pan for another 20 minutes, at which point you can remove the cake pan and let the cake cool completely on a wire rack. When your cake is completely at room temperature, it's time to decorate. You do so by placing the cutout of the St. James cross in the center and then sprinkle the confectionery sweetener on top. When you're removing the template, be very careful. You want the design to have a very nice clear outline. As I mentioned at the beginning, this cake is dedicated to Saint James the Apostle, who is the patron saint of Spain. This cake is often served during Easter time in Spain, but it's phenomenal anytime, so I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like my recipes, it would really help my channel grow if you would subscribe and forward and share this recipe with your friends. And it's very important that please turn on your notification bell so that you'll know when I post my next recipe. Here's a teaser. The next recipe will be a classic Italian minestrone primavera, which we had in Milan. So I hope you'll visit my channel for this next recipe. The link for the printable easy flourless almond cake or Tarta de Santiago will be posted in the description below.